So in this video, I'll be showing you how to get started with friendship bracelet making. So this pattern here I got off of friendship-bracelets.net, and they have the best bracelet patterns. You can even just Google friendship bracelets and it'll bring up patterns, but their site has the best and the most. So as you can see up here in this pattern, that is what our bracelet will end up looking like. It only consists of 6 threads and 6 rows. So as you can see here, there's a dash for every row. So it's only 6 and there are only 6 threads. So I'm going to be doing this bracelet alongside the pattern to also teach you how to read and work a pattern at the same time. This pattern is good because it works all 4 knotting methods in bracelets. So this is a good introductory because it is simple and it shows you how to read and use all 4 knots. So this pattern, and you can change any colors that you want, is red and blue. So I have my red and blue here. So we're using 726 and 752. So now you have to work with you and your sizing to figure out the length. If you cut your lengths 30 inches, it seems to work well with 6 to 8 inch wrists. So you want to go ahead and cut 4 red and 2 blue. So I like to measure out 30 inches, then double over the yarn and then trim it. So because of the placements, I have cut my blue so there is no loop, but I will be cutting the red later, but I just won't right now. So first you want to start off by positioning your threads in the color of the pattern, in the order of the pattern. So you want a blue, then you want to put 4 reds, so you want to line up your 4 reds like that, and then you want a blue. So then you're going to put a blue on the side of your red, like so. So what I like to do is then gather them, but try to keep them in the order that they're made to be. And you go down about 4 or so inches, and this is going to be our tie. So you can judge on that too, which then will judge the length of how much thread you need. But I go about 4 inches down, and I create a knot. So now you're going to either tape this to your table or flat surface or clip it to your clipboard like I have here. So once you have your threads all ready to be worked, you're going to kind of split them up. So you want to put your blues on the sides, and then you want to arrange your red strands. Now you want to make them lay as flat as possible so that your bracelet won't have any bumps. So you have your 2 blue and your 4 red strands. So now it's time to begin our pattern. So the best way to keep track is to either mark it on a row, or you take an index card, place it underneath row 1, and then use a paper clip or piece of tape and clip it down to block the other section of your pattern. So now row 1 is only visible and we won't get messed up. So as we can see here, and you can work left to right, right or left, it doesn't matter. You can even work right to left and then go back left to right. So we're going to start on our left here. So as we can see, we'll be working a red and a blue, and we're doing a backwards knot. The red is going over the blue. So we want to take our red on the right, and we're going to go over the blue, backwards 4, and we're going to work 2 knots. So come up through your 4, hold on to your blue and pull up your red, do 2 knots. As you get used to this, you'll figure out a way to hold your threads that is easy for you. So now red and blue swap places, and we're done with the first 2 strands. So now we're going to move on to the next 2 strands, which are both red. And as we can see here, we work a forwards knot because we have a right pointing arrow. So you're going to take your left red strand and we're going to create a 4, and we're going to do 2 knots. Come up through the middle, holding your second red tight and pull up on the first. Make a second 4 and pull up on your knot. So our last one, we have a forwards with our red and our blue. So we're going to take our red yarn and we're going to make a forwards knot over our blue, pull tight, make a second forwards knot and pull up, and there we have completed row 1. So now for row 2, we're just going to pull down on our index card. So row 2. So when on the pattern you had this point but there's no circle, that means those threads are not worked. So we're going to take our farthest red on both sides, and those threads will not be used in this row. So we'll just keep them out of the way. They will not be used. So now we're only working with our 4 middle strands, and as you can see, we are doing a forwards backwards knot with our blue. So you want to take the red and blue strand on our left, and we're going to make a forwards knot with our blue. Pull tight, and then we're going to work a backwards knot with our blue. Pull tight. And now with our 2 right threads, we are going to do a backwards forwards knot. So we're going to create a backwards 4 with our blue. Pull tight. Then we're going to create a forwards knot with our blue. Pull tight, and that's row 2. Pull down our card. Row 3, we incorporate all threads again, so we're going to pull back our red strands. Starting on the left, we're going to take a red and a blue, and we're going to do a forwards backwards knot. So do a forwards, pull, work a backwards 4, next 2 threads are our middle red, and we're going to be working a backwards knot. So take our right knot, go over, make a backwards knot, and make sure you pull really tight up at the base so that you don't have any loose stitches. And we're going to do our second backwards knot. Then our last 2 strands on the far right is going to be a backwards forwards knot. So we're going to take our red and we're going to create a backwards knot. Then we're going to take our red and create a forwards knot. Then for row 4, again, we don't use our outermost red strands, so we're just going to pull them out of the way and not use them in this row. So now we're going to take our 2 left strands and we're going to do a forwards backwards knot with our blue. So create a forward knot, pull tight, backwards knot, pull tight. We're going to move to our next set of thread and we're going to do a backwards forwards knot. So take our blue and we're going to make a backwards knot. Then we're going to make a forward knot with our blue. And that's it for row 4. We're going to bring back our reds, pull down our pattern. So now we're working 2 forwards knot and 1 backwards knot. So we're going to take our far left strands, 1 blue, 1 red. We're going to cross the red over the blue and do 2 forward knots. 1, 2. Then we're going to move over to our middle red strands. And we're going to do forward knots. So left over right, 1 forward knot, 2 forward knots. Then we're going to move to our right strands and we're going to do a backwards knot. So we're going to take our red over blue and create 2 backwards knots. And that is it for row 5. So now we have our final row in our pattern. And we're going to take the blue strands out of this row. So we're just going to set them aside. We won't be needing them in row 6. So now we're just working with all our red strands. So we're going to take our far left 2 and we're going to be working a forward knot. So just take the left one over the right and create 2 forward knots. 1, 2. We're going to take our other 2 strands and we're going to be doing a forward knot as well. So we're going to take our left strand of this and we're going to create 2 forward knots. 1, 2. And that is it for our pattern. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to keep repeating rows 1 through 6 until you get the desired length for your bracelet. So once you continue for the length that you like, then you have your finished bracelet pattern. Then from here you just go ahead and finish however you like. I would just knot the strands right here on the end and then decide how you want your ties to be. And that is the very first and easiest bracelet pattern to work with. I hope this helped you understand how to make bracelets and follow patterns. And let me know if there's any designs you'd like to see in the future for bracelets. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you next time.